Day 2 of the 2021 NFL Draft is here. The 49ers slated to pick at 43rd in the second round and 102 in the third round. And as soon as those picks are made official, we're going to break it down here on the 49ers Report. So if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. Hit that big red button down below or go to youtube.com/49ers TV. All right, welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Chase Sr. Coming up, Day 2 mock draft here for the 49ers on the channel. But first, let's recap what the Niners did on Night 1 of the NFL Draft, making a splash and bringing in their future franchise quarterback. Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State, going to the 49ers at pick number 3. So now the 49ers have a few needs that they're going to address in Day 2, rounds 2 and 3, as well as on Day 3 of the NFL Draft. So let's take a look at those areas that the 49ers are going to target: cornerback, edge rusher, interior offensive line, and wide receiver. And as I mentioned, the 49ers slated to pick at number 43 in the second round and pick 102 in the second round. So once again, we use the Pro Football Network Draft Simulator, and here are some of the notable picks that were made prior to the 49ers selecting at 43. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah going to the Jaguars at 33. Azeez Ojulari going to the Jets at 34. Christian Barmore to the Falcons at 35. Creed Humphrey to the Carolina Panthers at pick number 39. And Trevon Merrick to the Detroit Lions at pick number 41. I was hoping he would fall to the 49ers because if he did, I was going to select him in this mock draft. Here are the players on the board at 43. We're looking at guys like Kelvin Joseph, defensive back out of Kentucky; Asante Samuel, defensive back out of Florida State; Quinn Miners out of Wisconsin-Whitewater, the mean, nasty center; Ronnie Perkins, the edge rusher out of Oklahoma; and Elijah Moore, wide receiver out of Ole Miss, which was a really interesting pick that I almost made, but I did not. I elected to go to a different position of need for the 49ers. Hey, day two of the NFL Draft, it's here. We're only a couple hours away. If you're pumped for Day 2 of the draft, hit that thumbs up icon and like this video right now. Pick number 43 in the second round, I went with defensive back Asante Samuel Jr. out of Florida State. Now, there was a lot of buzz leading up to Night 1 that he was going to sneak into the first round. Didn't happen. Slides to Day 2. And I think that given the player that Asante Samuel is, this would be great value for the 49ers at 43, and it would also fill a need. Because you look at that cornerback room right now, a lot of veterans, a lot of older guys. You bring in an influx of youth talent and a guy with a lot of upside. Absolutely love the value and the pick here at 43. Couldn't pass it up. Went with him instead of Elijah Moore. While I like Asante Samuel also, he can play inside and outside. Some concerns about his size, which we'll get to here in a little bit, but I think that versatility is pretty valuable. And he was a really productive player as a Seminole. 96 tackles. He's not going to be too active in the backfield, only 3 tackles for loss, but 33 pass breakups and 4 interceptions. I really like his ball skills as a cornerback prospect. Additionally, in scouting Asante Samuel, here's what I came up with. Moves really well and has great feet. A trait, the latter, that you need as a cornerback prospect. Also, he anticipates really well, like his father, Asante Samuel Jr., who was a gambler, but picked off a lot of passes in clutch situations. So I like that about his son, Asante Samuel Jr. Also, Asante Samuel Jr. has come out and said straight up, I am a dog, D-A-W-G. He is fearless, he is confident, he is also really, really competitive. And yes, there are concerns about Asante Samuel Jr.'s size, but I think that lends to him playing right away, because if the 49ers don't want to line him up outside, he can play inside. And you already have players on the roster who are suited to play outside corner. Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett, who the 49ers brought back in free agency. And at the safety spots, I'm liking the makeup of the 49ers secondary right now, which is Quincy Roche, who they also brought back in free agency, as well as Jimmy Ward and guys like Kevon Webster. And if Asante Samuel is inserted into that secondary, DeMeco Ryans, at his disposal, has a pretty good group to work with in that secondary, which the 49ers needed to kind of remake a little bit this past offseason. So grade the Asante Samuel pick for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Get into the comments and let me know your one-letter grade. I'm going to go B because I really like Asante Samuel as a cornerback prospect for the 49ers at pick number 43. So night one of the NFL draft, we were live breaking down every single pick for multiple hours. We were one of the most watched NFL drafts on YouTube. And I woke up this morning and I needed to kind of catch up and refresh my mind as to everything that happened on night one. You know how I did that? I pulled up the Newsbreak app because there's an NFL draft tab on the Newsbreak app right now. And I was able to get caught up with all of the analysis, all of the picks that all of these other teams made, and I was able to sit back and say, okay, these teams won, these teams lost. That's the beauty of the Newsbreak app, because from all of your local news sources, it kind of gets it all on one single feed for you, and that's one of the best features of the Newsbreak app. So download it now by just downloading the Newsbreak app on your iPhone or on your Android devices. And the 49ers Report is also on the Newsbreak app. How do you do that? You go to the Newsbreak app, you pull that up, you search 49ers Report, give us a follow. And thanks to you guys, we have surpassed 100 followers. Let's get to 200 followers on the 49ers Report on the Newsbreak app by the end of draft weekend. Awesome app that I use every single day. Next up, 49ers picking at 102 in the back half of the third round. Some notable picks that went before the 49ers in this draft simulator. Ben Cleveland, offensive lineman. Dwayne Eskridge and Tylan Wallace, wide receivers, as well as Kendrick Green. So those players going to the Packers, Bills, Chargers, and Lions. What did I decide to do? I addressed edge rusher. I was really tempted to go wide receiver in round 2, tempted to go wide receiver in round 3, but I decided to go with Quincy Roche at pick number 102. I think this, like Asante Samuel, 1, great value, 2, fills a position of need, and you can never have enough edge rushers on your team. And Quincy Roche has 3rd, 4th round value, so I didn't think it was too early to pick him up at 102. Started his career at Temple University, my alma mater, shout out to you, the Owls, then transferred to Miami, and at both stops, this is a player who had a lot of college production. We're talking 30.5 sacks during his college career. Really like his quick burst out of his stance, so he's able to beat offensive linemen right from the snap count. He's resilient and he's tough, has some versatility to his game as well. Pretty solid against the run and the pass. As for concerns for Quincy Roche, he might be like a tweener. He's 6'2", 245, so isn't a massive guy like you'd probably want at around 260 pounds at the edge rusher spot. But when you look at the 49ers depth chart, when the focus isn't solely on Quincy Roche and it's on guys like Nick Bosa, Kentavious Street, Javon Kinlaw, and Eric Armstead, I think Quincy Roche would be able to figure into the 49ers' plans defensively and be able to be a productive player. Also, I like what the 49ers have done in terms of adding depth to their defense, bringing in guys like Mo Hurst of late and Arden Key, both guys coming to San Francisco from the Las Vegas Raiders. So 2 picks for the 49ers coming up on day 2 of the NFL draft. Are you confident in John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan to make the right picks? I loved what they did on night 1, picking up Trey Lance. I'm going to go ahead and hit that like button because I'm very confident in this 49ers front office that they will make the right selections and continue to build this football team. So we were live, of course, all night on round 1. It was crazy. And as you can see, I didn't get much sleep. But I'm amped up. I have the adrenaline flowing. I got to get more coffee and some Red Bulls because rounds 2 and 3 coming up in just a couple of hours. We will go live starting at 6 o'clock Eastern on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to Chat Sports, do so right now. Go to youtube.com/chatsportstv. And get locked in with our draft coverage. We're one of the most watched drafts on YouTube. Also, we have the most fun, and rounds 2 through 7, we're going to have a ball, we're going to have a blast. You don't want to miss it, so subscribe to Chat Sports right now.